Okay, we are moving on to page 3. I have only planned part of it, but I will figure out the rest. So that's the page. Tunnel goes this way. Make sure you always check that before you start. That's why I actually wrote on it to make sure I don't forget. And then I have created, like, I took an 8 by 8.5 and scored that 1/2 inch, so now I can create an additional page that will open up. So we are going to work on it first. We set our page number 3 aside. For this one I have cut and distressed on the edges these borders, and let's glue them on now, just to take them out of the way. This again, this page is gonna be very complex, so we are going to make several short videos. Otherwise it's gonna take days to upload. Even from work, it's still not fast enough. From home, you know, I cannot upload except if there are videos that are like 30 seconds long, but other than that it's basically not possible. Okay, this glue annoys me. Okay, so these are borders from some of the pages in the paper pack. If you want to replicate, you will be able to locate them. It's a bit shorter, not by much though. Hang on, let me figure out what's the best way to put it. Here we go. It doesn't really matter at the top if there is more room. Okay, and then this one, some of you may know that I plan to design my own paper packs, but this is a project that is not gonna be done overnight. I expect that it will take a long time, and I'm trying to come up with a cool name for the brand. Like this is Stamperia. Here in the United States I saw that we have Graphic 45, but I'm not very impressed with the name. I need something elegant and timeless. So if you can think of something, please send me your suggestions. I would be most grateful. Okay, so we are done with this, and now in the middle we are going to create a pocket with side entries. Both of them will be available. So 9 inches in length, score that 1/2 inch on both sides, and this is going to go here like this. So I measured the width based on these edges. So this is already cut, but we are not just going to stick it on like this. We are going to cover it with this beautiful blue paper that, by the way, is going to be on the book cover as well. And so let's and we are going to use the die again to create, let me see, Yes, we are going to use the die, the border die again. Oh, here we go. So let's put this right in the middle and one on the other side. And now, to make sure that we align everything perfectly for the die, so it starts here and ends here, and then I'm gonna put the middle of the die along this line, which is right the middle, and that way we will not have surprises, or at least so I hope. Hang on, let me double check. I think I need to move this a tiny bit that way. That's better. Okay, yep. Now it should have pieces already. Come on, let me do it. I can move my fingers. One. So in a very awkward position. Anyway, and two. So let's make sure we hold it down and down. Now we are going to bring the big kit back. Okay. And we are going to do about 4 passes. Hey, sorry, that moved my camera. I didn't pay attention. 2 passes. I hope the camera is still in the right position. Sorry, I'm just... Okay, something very weird happened. I know I started the video and I kept talking and working on the insert. So let me walk back a step. As you recall, we put the edges here, these borders, and then we created a pocket. We used the die on each side, and at the top we folded half an inch at the bottom, and we glued it to this page, and then whatever came out of this we glued it here. So I suppose that was part of the previous video. You must have seen it. And then I decided to make an insert. So I measured, and I already worked on it, but I am going to show you. I measured and I decided to make it just slightly shorter so it could actually slide in. And that's what it's going to look. And I actually made it like a big giant card. I used this paper for the front because it goes well with this page. And then for this one I had, and you will find them in the paper pack, I had these rectangles with cut corners. So what I did, I added a bit of craft cardstock, and let me show you how. First I put a piece of tape here, and then I glued this piece of cardstock on, making sure I hit the corners and I do not exceed the corners. And then I cut the excess, I turned it over, I scored here, and I kept about half an inch of edge, which I folded eventually. So this suddenly has an extension of craft cardstock that is folded. So I slid it under this portion of cardstock, this one. In between it and the front page. And that's how I made these two. And then I took this tiny border that I had left over. I calculated where to make holes for the brads, and I used this turning things. I forgot the name, I keep forgetting, to hold the cards down. So that's what I've done so far. Let me check that the video doesn't stop again. No, it's working. Okay, so now for this part I have already cut and distressed these portions, and I'm going to glue them here. So let's do that now. Tape, yeah. I think I might use the same design or similar on other pages later on, and that kit will give you a chance to see how this was done. I apologize, I don't know what happened and why the video turned off. Okay, so this one goes here. And then you know that I normally put a backing to all cards just to reinforce them, but I thought that the back here was beautiful and I just didn't want to hide it. That's why I used that little trick. Hang on, sorry, I can't do it when my hand, never mind, I'll do it later. That's why I used a little trick with the craft cardstock end only. Okay. Oh my goodness, I am going to start posting all these videos next week, so you will have plenty, because this weekend I am going to focus on this. I won't have time during the week next week, so I just want to make sure you have videos available. Now that's perfect. Okay, so that's that. And for this portion we are going to cut some of this. Let's distress it really quick. Okay. No. Before we do that, and now I have to just leave it like this for now, because I really wanted to do something else. Okay, so I am going to use these two just to put here as decoration with a brad So for that I am going to make a hole in the exact spot I want them to be. Perfect. And remember when I showed you these little brads from Michael's that look like little pearls in the shape of a heart? I hope you can see them. That's what I am going to use. So let's pass one of them through this and straighten it, and then here and now we are going to glue it to the main page. Okay, and then this one and a tiny piece to secure the brand. Glue. Okay, so I think that this insert is really nice. Now let's lift this a bit, and now it works. So we can close here, and now all we have to do is the back, and for that I am going to use what paper? Give me a second, I'll figure it out. This one. And I am not making it any more complicated than already is, because this insert is so fat. But I am not done with the first page, believe it or not. Okay, so that goes here. Let's figure out how long that needs to be. Okay, distressing. Come on. Of course I had to exceed by an 1/8 of an inch. This is way too short for sure. Oh, but that's okay because it lets me put a whole one here and cover the corner perfectly. So it's not bad. And we have this little piece that we are going to put in the middle as usual. Okay. Glue. And let's just put it here nicely. And we are done with the insert. Isn't that cool? I love it. Now, we are not done with this one. So the insert goes in. Oh my goodness, what am I going to do? Let me think. Yes, I need a circle die. I should have it here. Maybe we should do, yeah, we are going to do the little one. It's way too much on the edge. That's okay. Or, yeah, that's a lot better. Which one? Which one? Which one is a nice one? Okay, so let's just cut here and here, moving this aside for a moment. And die. Something like this. That's good enough. And on the other side, and okay, we have our circle and we are going to make a smaller one on cardstock. We don't need to secure it now because we are not following any pattern, so that's fine. Taking it out. I'm gonna keep the die here in case we need it later. Let's distress the edges. Okay, that's what I wanted to do. I'm just gonna cut a portion and hopefully it's long enough. Yeah, it should be. Okay, what does it? And I am going to use tape because I am not patient to hold it down with glue. So there's gonna be a lot of tape here, but it's okay. Stay there, don't, it's sticking to my fingers. And it's too long, hang on. I can't put bits like this that are so gigantic. And I am going to put a bit of glue, but not just yet. Okay. Too big again. Yeah, because why not? Let's make it look as girly as possible. Seriously? Okay, I'm gonna add a bit. I'm not gonna redo it. That's what happens when you are a Scrooge like me, cutting small bits just in case, so I won't waste anything. And I've been having these laces for years, not using them anywhere. It's so annoying. Okay, let's cut a bit more now, just in case. Tape. And a bit more here. And I will just cut the excess. Am I doing it off camera? I'm sorry. I gotta see. That's good enough. So now what I am going to do, I am going to add a bit of glue. Not yet. Let's put this one on first. We have plenty of tape here for it, so all I need is to make sure that it goes right where it's supposed to, and it has. And now let's see if we can Actually, yeah, I am going to add a bit of glue here and there. Where I see that it's absolutely needed, like here for instance. Spreading it around. Let's see where else. Here, it's kind of everywhere, but it's okay. I believe it's good enough. So now where it's, oh, here. I think I am going to raise it on, yeah, on those little foam things. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Let's see how we're doing with them on. Okay. Just making sure that I am well placed. Yes. Perfect. That looks nice. And now I'm going to turn the camera off, unless it turned off by itself. Hopefully not, because I'm gonna die if that happens. Okay, and then I am going to move on to the back. I will see. I'm so sorry guys, my phone has done it again. I thought I was recording, but I wasn't. So let me start afresh. This is the part that will go up on page 3. So we are trying to do the back. So the back is here. So I decided to put this piece of cardstock at the top, and I wanted to put a card in. So what I've done, I cut the card, leaving the white side on it. I scored, and then with the X-Acto knife I cut along on this paper, because now this card is like flipping freely, I just wanted to make sure I secure it with another portion of cardstock, which is going to close with a magnet. So I cut this one, the length of this one plus ½ an inch to score and fold. So that's what you've been missing. Let me double check that the video is on. Yes, it is on this time. I'm not sure what's going on with my phone. So to hold this down, I'm putting a magnet. So I think I'm gonna move it a bit more this way. Perfect. And let's secure the magnet, and let's cover this bit. For this I have already cut this portion, which is not going to be long enough, but I will add a tiny bit at the end. I'm using all the oh, these are the magnets. I'm using all the tiny bits and pieces of cutouts because I'm sure I will need a lot more to finish this album. At this pace I will probably use a whole lot of paper. Okay, and one more time here, and let's use the glue. Perfect. And here I'm going to put this little one. It goes really well. Actually I think I should put it, let me think. Yeah, that's it. And one more on this side. And glue. Excellent. That's what I need. And now let's figure out the magnet at the back. No, there it is. So we are going to put some tape first, replace the magnet, and secure it. And now we can finish this portion here. It's done. We can glue, stick the entire thing to the page. Let's put this somewhere in the middle. And one more here. That's way too short. Actually not really, because I already have pieces of tape here. Okay. Perfect. So this is closed with a magnet, and I have cut this pearl ribbon. You actually find it at Michael's, and you can always use the coupon. And I'm going to put this as an embellishment. So for that, I wouldn't know for the, yes, of course, this is the glue that is designed for this, and it's so dry, so I am just going to use, give me one moment to find super glue. I'm just going to go really quickly along the edges because I don't want it to dry. perfect. Now I am going to have super glue all over my fingers, but don't really have a choice here. Ow! Okay, you stay there. How on earth am I going to clean this now? So while this portion dry, let's figure out the bottom. What about, yes, okay. So let's make this that big. What did I, oh here it is. And I want to cut along the leaves. It might still be too big, but I don't want the leaves up here or here. Yes, I think I want them at the bottom, but I have to shave oh my goodness, it doesn't, oh great, never mind, let's fix this first. I don't like it. I am so sorry to take up your time, but I will have to fix this. Okay. Goodness me, that was a lot of blockage. Now I can't even take the needle out. There it is. If I can remove it. Yes. All right. And oh, you know what? I dropped it wherever that went behind the desk. So it can stay there until we move, because I won't be able to find it. This thing is heavy. Okay. Now let's try to put the proper glue, which is the one for crystals, but it works really well. I didn't realize that the super glue was not going to work because the paper, oh, it doesn't work on paper. Great, it's still not working. I'm wasting your time right now. I apologize. These are old needles that I have, so I'm not actually using them for anything other than craft. Let's hope it works now. Please work. Where is that blockage? Just trying to get everything out, and that way there will be no excuse. Let's see now. Please work, please. You know what? I am not going to waste your time. I am going to put this here. I am going to put this portion here, as I said I would. and when I am done I will start attaching to page 3 on camera. Sorry about it. Okay, I'm back. Let me show you what I've done. Where did I put it? So remember, that was the front, and this is the back. This is done now with the magnet, and now we are going to attach it to page 3. But before we do, I want to prepare the part that will cover page 3, and for that I cut a piece of cardstock to size, so it's almost an 8 by 8. I always leave a tiny edge, you barely see it. And then I had a page with 9 of these designs. I cut 6 of them and got them ready to attach them to this background. But I didn't just cut them along the contour. I left on each of them a white band at the top so that I could score it, which I did, and fold it. So now they are ready to be attached to the page. I have done all this work because it was kind of tedious to try to get it in position. Let me start with the first one, and then I'm going to show you one of them so you could see what they look like. For that I need my X-Acto knife. So let's do a cut here. It took me a long time to be able to get the cuts right, so at first I used to draw with a pencil on the paper, and then actually cut or using a ruler. But now because I'm used to it, I'm fine with not doing it. So see, this is what I've done. And I, once again, no backing because you can write things here. It's just a beautiful back of the page. So let's do this one now. So once we have the position, we can safely remove them. Okay, so now let's try not to move the ones that are up there. Okay, we are done with this. I can take this away. And now let's try to do this before we start attaching any. So I'm sure that they are not perfect, but I've done my best to align them, and that's what took me a long time, and I decided to do it out off camera, so I won't waste your time. We are almost done with page 3, believe it or not. And this last one, and we are done with the cuts. Now let me take this as well. I am going to put my X-Acto knife away, but I don't know what I did with the lid. Oh, here it is. Okay, so we decided that this one is at the top, and let's try to fit it in. I have already distressed the edges on all of them, so just don't forget to do it, because it's important once you get started distressing. It looks odd if you forget to distress a portion, and it's very hard, if not impossible, to do it after you glue them down. So that's one, and now I had decided on this one to be the second. One thing that I am not going to do, I am not going to make a fuss about making them stay down, mainly because we have that big part that covers and holds them down, so that's absolutely okay. I mean, we put already a lot of elements on page 3, so we don't want to make it any thicker than it already is. For those of you who did not watch my previous tutorials, I am always trying to bring that edge of the backing, no, here, sorry, I'm trying to bring it out, and then I'm going to secure it, because if I leave it at the front, it will show on the card itself, and we don't want that. Okay, and the last one for this side, okay, let me double check. Yeah, the video is still, is it? Yeah, it's still going. I don't know what's wrong with my phone, because every time when I started, I look to make sure that it's on, and in 2 occasions now it stopped. It just didn't record. So this one was at the top. Look how beautiful these designs are. I'm in love with this paper. I am yet to decide which Stamperia paper I like most. Some of them, I must admit, I wasn't very fond of. The moment I received them in the mail, I just thought that the colors were different from what I could see on the computer, and that was a turn off for me. But most Stamperia papers are just stunning. There is a website somewhere in, I think, Hungary or Poland, and they do not supply to the United States. I wanted to buy from them wholesale, because they carry a lot of Stamperia's very early designs that are nowhere near as elaborate as the ones currently available on the market, but they have a charm. They are beautiful. Stamperia has evolved a lot since it first started, and it now has some incredible designers that put together all of these papers. Okay, so now let's reinforce each and every one of them. Remember bringing this at the front tape. Come on, come out. Okay. This will stop the background paper to slide back at the front of the card. So that's why I am doing it on each and every one of them, to make sure I hold it in place. And that was particularly helpful in my early days as a paper crafter, because even with a ruler I would still cut the line sometimes wobbly, and if it popped in front of the card it looked really nasty. That way it's all neat and looks professional. I did tell you that I didn't sell one single piece, except, oh no, I did sell a vase that I made, and that was only because the mail lady, when I used to live in Davenport, she came inside one day. We used to talk every time she brought mail in, and she saw the vase. She fell in love with it, sorry, with, what am I saying? And so she wanted to buy it, and I said yes. Okay, let's put this tape here. Oh, I forgot to mention, I had already scored here, and normally you would see the page like this, but then I realized that the backing, it's kind of thick, and so it's going to be this one, it's gonna add to it. So I have scored again, so the distance between the two score lines, it's slightly smaller than an eighth of an inch. It's almost an eighth of an inch. Yeah, so I fold it like this, and I'm only going to glue this part, but then it's going to sit like this. Basically I created, see, I created height to make sure that I don't squash things and they don't look unnatural. So now I am going to add tape only to the first line of scoring, no more than that, and I am not going to cut anything because we will need it on the page. I'm just going to add, come on, don't do the same thing like the other one, seriously, no, that's good. By the way, I was never able to unclog the cap of the other glue. I cursed the manufacturer as much as I could, but you know, the reality is my fault. I did not properly clean it after use, and I did not put the tiny cap. I lost it. There was a tiny cap. Hang on, I'm gonna shut up for a moment to make sure that I actually do it right. And so this is going to stay like this. And now we are going to glue this one on it. Oh, come on, I'm almost out of glue, and here I'm in Ocala, the stores are really far away from where I live, and I can only go to Michael's after work. But since I'm not going until Monday, I will have to dig in my supplies and find some more. I'm about to run out of tape anyway, so I'll have to go and try to find them. Okay, so this one goes here. And it's perfect. Now, the thing that I wanted to tell you is that I didn't know how to actually close this section to help it go down. So what I am planning on doing, I don't know if I should. I have those transparent Velcro sticks. I don't know, the circles. I'm gonna take one out to see what they look like. If not, this being heavy, I think it can stay like this without any problems. Yeah. That's right. No, I am not going to use the Velcro. I just want to see it. It's pretty clear, but then I would have to press the corners down, and I don't want to. So no, Velcro goes in the drawer. So we are done, believe it or not, with page 3. So I'm going to set it aside. Here is how it looks inside. I think it's beautiful. I am going to set it aside and plan page 4. Let's actually write on it to make sure we don't make a mistake. And I will make a video when I'm ready.